People of Reddit, what are some quirks about your body that you think probably isn't normal? Fully functional kidney. Probably my underdeveloped third nipple. I have rare birth defect that happen about 1 in 30,000 babies. It causes my organs to be on the opposite side they should be. One side of my body is significantly larger than the other. On my small foot, my litless toes are webbed. There's a spot under my chin which, when touched, makes me start hiccuping. Makes showering and shaving trimming my beard rather interesting. I get cramps in my prostate every once in a while. Don't know why. Last time I brought it up to my doctor, they said that's weird and told me I'm too young to have prostate problems. Sometimes I have to pee, but nothing comes out, so I scratch the part of my back right above my ass crack and it makes me immediately have to go. I've got a mole on my shoulder that looks suspiciously like a tiny freckled Pac-Man, and I'm pretty sure it's plotting something. After having had a retinal detachment in May, my left pupil no longer reacts to light. It's huge, so I have mismatched pupils. It looks freaky as hell. My soft spot never fully closed either. I once asked my doctor what, if anything, I should do about it, and he said, and I quote here, "Don't stick a pencil through it." Helpful advice, my dude. Helpful. I believe most people's wingspans are proportional to their height, but my wingspan is 4.5 inches more than my height. I have a birthmark on my left wrist that perfectly matches the Big Dipper constellation. It's like having a little piece of the night sky with me at all times, navigating life by the stars on an arm. My ribs flare out instead of shaping down, they just flare out. I'm not overweight, they just flare out and make every fucking cute top I've ever wanted to wear look ties tilt sideways. Quality control failed me. For some reason, once a day I get this really loud singular hiccup croaking thing. It's hard to describe, like I'll just be chilling on the couch and out of nowhere this weird loud croak noise will come out of me. I can't tell when it's going to happen, but it's pretty consistently once per day. Laughs in genetic defect. So many. The most obvious would be my ears, though. They're tiny, visibly deformed, and while my inner ear is perfectly normal, I don't have any ear canals, so I'm almost completely deaf. Other, less obvious features are my teeth, which grew in weird, my underdeveloped lower jaw, my oddly shaped eyes, and my abnormally narrow trachea. My belly button is terribly sensitive to touch, and anytime it gets poked or I run into something there, it feels like all my guts are being poked as well. I can't even think about cleaning it. That would hurt so much. I have both endometriosis and adenomyosis. One destroys the outside of the uterus, and one destroys the inside. 61 years old, and I am by no means a regular exerciser, but my resting heart rate is typically between 50 and 55. I sweat a lot, and no, I'm not obese. My thumbs bend 90 degrees past vertical. I don't need to push them back, I can do it by muscular control. My body gets red and itchy spotty if I stay in water for more than 15 minutes. I excessively burp, literally from just rolling over in bed. It just randomly started a couple years ago. If I'm lying on my side and flip to the other, 4-5 huge belches. If I'm laying on my back and barely roll to my side, more belches. It's insane, and I don't get it. I have duplicated canines, 2 on each side of both jaws. I have 2 spleens. Sometimes, my knee randomly pops like a bag of microwave popcorn. Pretty sure that's not in the user manual. I had my gallbladder out in 1999 and get phantom gallbladder pains. As an overweight, almost 40-year-old, I can put my heels on the top of my head. I single quotes have heard it's not a great sign. I always thought it was a cool party trick. My hands get extremely pale in the cold and extremely red in regular warm situations. It's not consistent with Raynaud's when flushed. My hands aren't painful or numb. In fact, I didn't realize this until someone else pointed it out to me. Sometimes one of my ears randomly closes up and I feel this giant shift in balance in my head. Then my hearing goes out and sometimes my vision blurs. If I wait about 20-30 seconds, it goes back to normal. My body doesn't process numbing anything. Lidocaine, Novocaine, benzocaine, nothing. It was hell as a kid getting dental work done because they would tell me to quit screaming and freaking out because it was numbed, but it actually wasn't. Thankfully, I only needed 2 stitches after I had my daughter. I can taste eardrops. Every doctor has told me that's impossible, but that's my experience. If I push my finger inside my belly button, I get an intense pain in my genitals. I've got unusually pointy ears, not big ears, pointy ears. It's a trait that always stood out, especially when I was younger. It's less eye-catching these days because my whole appearance offers its share of things that'll catch an eye or two. I haven't met a lot of people with the elven thing going on. Every time I walk outside into the sun, I sneeze. Bright lights tend to cause it, too. Never met anyone else with this issue. Edit fixed the wording. My tired ass could have worded it better, and some people are getting confused at first. My pinky toenails on both feet are split. My parents also have this, and it's apparently common for a certain group of people. My dad thinks our ancestors had 6 toes on each feet, lol. ETA, it's called an accessory nail if anyone else is curious. My left nut is 2x as big as my right one. I don't know if this counts or not, but I managed to survive being hit by a Suburban back in 2015, only walking away with a fractured hip that I recovered from in about a month. Again, I don't know if that counts, lol. My little finger clicks and sounds like thumping if I move it around. Right before I sneeze, I get a wave of intense nausea. I can't burp and have a little hole on the side of my head right above my left ear. If I plug my nose, I can blow air out of my tear. Semi-related. I can taste eye drops a couple seconds after I put them in my eye. I can't burp. It's called RCPD if you're curious. My brain definitely ain't right. Does that count? One shoulder is higher than the other. If I start running without warming up and rolling my ankles around, both my ankles get a sharp, horrible pain that feels like they're broken. I cough uncontrollably when I get nervous or anxious. I'm a man and I can make myself orgasm with weighted crunches and absolutely no other stimulus. I have a rare birthmark called Nevis of Ota. It covers half of my face all the way to my scalp. It grows every year, and a doctor has told me I could become blind in my eye in my 50s, 60s. But it's cool. I like it. One leg is barely shorter than the other. Caused chronic lower back pain for years before a physical therapist gave me a 12mm lift for my shoe. Been mostly pain-free for 2 years now. I get a muscle cramp in my back and it makes me have an anxiety attack, and then I immediately have to poop. I don't know if one thing is causing another. Like, is having to poop giving me back pain? Is pain causing my anxiety and then that causes physical symptoms? It's so random too. My teeth are and have always been perfectly straight with the exception of one lower canine that is entirely backwards. I get the sensation of restless legs in my arms, but only under very specific and weird circumstances. I get one hiccup anytime I drink anything besides water. It always makes everyone think I'm going to barf. I have stabbing pains in my uterus all the time. My bones hurt when someone touches them. It really feels like they will snap just from a tiny bit of pressure. Everything and anything gives me heartburn or an upset stomach. I'm in my late 20s, but feel like I'm 80. My body's first reaction to any anomalous internal readings is to order a 4-hour 6 vomiting purge. Thanks for watching.